face with the face of fashion for 1958. The great airborne B-58 Buick, restyled from road to roof. 1958's exciting answer to public demand for a car styled in tune with modern living. You can tell a 58 Buick at a glance. It's the car that will attract the public's eye. And it's up to you to turn Buick's eye appeal into buy appeal. You get the order by pointing out to every prospect every feature that's brand new, Buick new for 58. And you have the greatest line of cars in Buick's history to brag about. You have the great Special Series, styled, powered, and priced to meet and beat competition. You have the lovely, lively Century Series. And there's the extra roomy Super Series to step them up to. The great Roadmaster 75 Series, extra plush this year. And at the very top of the B-58 line, the incomparable new Limited Series, Luxury Unlimited, for purse and personality that insists exclusively on the best. So there it is, the line of cars that blankets the market of new car buyers. The line of cars you can sell because it has everything: styling, eye appeal, and solid prestige in appearance, performance, and value. The B-58's low, long, wide look is a fact. Buick is lower, longer, and wider, with full headroom and full road clearance. For 58, Buick is almost 2 inches longer and more than 3 inches wider. Every line of the body designed to emphasize Buick's sleek, new, road-hugging silhouette. The sparkling new squares of the Fashion-Air Dynastar grille, shimmering like jewels on black velvet, break through the barrier of tradition with bold individuality. And this beauty is practical, too, for its wide-open design admits a great deal more air for much cooler engine operation. The massive front bumper emphasizes Buick's eager-to-go look and gives even greater body protection with the wraparound all the way to the front wheel opening. Good looks and safety also join in the location of the parking and turn lights. Far enough from the headlights to be seen night or day, they define the full width of the car, yet remain an integral part of the front-end design. Note how the smart new lines of the hood and fenders also emphasize that eager-to-go look and give the driver better close-up visibility. Under the bold headlamp hoods are the new VistaVision headlights, true dual headlights. 100 watts from the 2 lamps for 25% more vision on low beam, and 150 watts from all 4 lamps for 50% more vision on high beam, for greater highway safety. To top off the front-end treatment, just the right touch of chrome has been incorporated in the new hood and fender ornaments. In fact, the beautifully eager look of the front of the car is swept the entire length of the body with the Buick new Sweep Spear. It starts up front, wrapping around the headlamp hood, then curves over the front wheel opening, sweeps across the doors, and finally blends into the rear bumper itself to gracefully accent the length of the car with flattering horizontal lines. The rear wheel opening has been lowered to blend with this styling, and even the wheel covers have been restyled on all series. And above the rear wheel opening, sweeping all the way back, an innovation in side treatment, distinctive, new. The rear quarter applique on the Special and Century models are the same except for the series designation script. The Super and the Roadmaster 75 rear quarter applique corresponds except for color in the ribbed insert and series designation. The Limited rear quarter applique is different in that a distinctive limited script and shield with 3 bands of louvers are used in place of the center area plaque molding. Along the sweeping top of the rear fenders are smart chrome moldings to further emphasize length as they flow gracefully back to become an integral part of the massive new twin tower taillights. On the Special and Century models, the backup lights are designed as a part of the taillight housing. On the Super and Roadmaster 75, the backup lights are incorporated in the bumper at the base of the taillights. Distinctively different, the new Limited has a taillight with gleaming horizontal ribs that accent the car's long, flowing appearance. The Husky rear bumper wraps completely around the car, with the license plate frame an integral part of the fresh, new styling on all series except the 40. The rear deck is carried straight back, dipping sharply to accent the feeling of motion. A distinctively handsome series designation script, different for each series, is carried on the rear deck. Molding along the lower edge on Limited and Roadmaster series gives an individual styling touch and also serves as the convenient handle for lifting the rear deck lid. All other series have individual handles. The rear window in the Specials and Centuries has been completely redesigned. 2.5 inches has been added to the height for increased visibility, and the rear window is shatterproof, safety plate glass, of course, just like the windshield. In fact, Buick uses safety plate glass instead of window glass all the way around the car for distortion-free vision in every direction. Another reason why Buick's the better buy. The rear doors of Roadmaster 75 and Limited 4-door Rivieras have operating vent windows for better passenger side vision and for better ventilation of the entire car. The 2-door Rivieras in the Roadmaster 75 and Limited series are distinguished with a decorative molding that gives distinction worthy of Buick's finest. Buick new colors, too, for 58. More than ever before, with color selection expanded to 20 beautiful shades. 15 colors are in fine Duco, 9 brand new for 58. And to meet the certain demand for the long-lasting luster of lucite paint, there are 5 Buick new colors in this time-defying new finish. Lucite is the new paint that has powdered metal right in its plastic base, gives Buick that newly waxed look for years. Familiarize yourself with all the colors in both Duco and lucite paint, and the combinations recommended by Buick stylists. Two-toning for 58 is divided at the belt line for a fresh, distinctive look. Remember that all two-tone paint orders must be in either Duco or lucite. They cannot be mixed. Well, now that we've covered Buick's exterior beauty for 58, let's take a look at the prettier than ever, roomier than ever interiors. The extra spaciousness comes from extra headroom, a full half-inch more headroom in the front seat. It's accomplished by nesting the seat deeper into the frame so as to retain Buick's extra deep, super soft seat and ample legroom. There's backseat roominess and comfort too, plenty of leg and headroom, and the deep, full cushion all the way across makes the B58 the softest sitting, restful, relaxing, full 6-passenger car on the road. All interior trim is color-mated with exterior finishes, with a selection of materials specially chosen to emphasize Buick's luxury. For true interior luxury, there's popular, practical cordovine, smooth as silk broadcloth, fine quality genuine leathers, and beautiful, durable nylon, offered this year in 140 different combinations. New color has even been given to convertible tops. There's a choice of 7 shades for 58. Blending with the new colors and patterns are the new lines of the instrument panel. The safety pad, optional on the Special, standard on the other series, has been redesigned for better appearance. Compact grouping of the instruments has been retained for added convenience and safety. Heater and air conditioning outlets have been restyled. They present a smart new appearance and blend beautifully with the smart interior decor. The new control knobs have a soft center insert for greater safety. And heater and air conditioning controls are improved with larger, sturdier knobs. The steering wheel and horn ring have also been restyled to blend with Buick new styling. The safety dish design has been retained, but the spoke length of the steering wheel is reduced so entering and leaving the car is more convenient than ever. Buick's popular 6-way power seat offers fingertip convenience for real driving comfort for every member of the family, an option you can push with profit. And Buick's convenient trouble-free power windows are an option worth pushing too. Inside Buick for 58. Outside Buick for 58. From in front, from the rear. Any way you look at it, Buick got it. This is a line of cars you can sell because it fulfills the needs, the desires, the demands of motoring America. So know your product, inside and out, every detail. Then make a good showroom presentation. Know the Buick story so well you can tell it well, with inspiring confidence, infectious enthusiasm. Give your best demonstration every time. Put the car through its paces, then let your prospect put it through its paces. And finally, ask for the order to get the order.
Buick's brilliant new Face of Fashion styling is sure to catch your prospect's eye and help you beat a path to his pocketbook. And behind this glamorous exterior is another sizzling sales story. Performance. When it comes to performance, it's what you can't see that counts. At the heart of the great performance of the B-58 Buick are the B-12,000 engine and two great Dynaflow transmissions, improved variable pitch Dynaflow and the all-new flight pitch Dynaflow. You can sell every one of the outstanding features of Buick's big 364 cubic inch vertical valve V8. Even its name tells a story of power and performance. 12,000 pounds of thrust on every piston every time a spark plug fires. The power-packed B-12,000 is the most advanced engine that can be built for today's gasolines. And that's a story of smooth, dependable power you can sell your prospects. Where does the B-12,000 get this dependability? It starts in the engine block, newly proportioned and strengthened to match the punch of compression ratios as high as 10 to 1. The modern over-square design of the big 4 1/8 inch bore and short 3.4 inch stroke gives the B-12,000 the pep of an antelope and the long life of an elephant. It's the most efficient engine for its size in the industry. Only 1 9/10 pounds for each of its 300 horsepower. And that's engineering you can sell in terms of economy with power and performance. Even the design of Buick's turbo dome piston adds power, creating turbulence in the burning fuel mixture to produce a clean, powerful thrust. Connecting rods are strengthened 3 ways for exceptional load-carrying capacity, and the sturdy forged steel crankshaft ensures smooth conversion of B-12,000 horsepower into road power. Designing for deep breathing is as important as designing for strength, and the B-12,000 engine is designed to breathe more deeply and fully than ever. The air cleaner intake reaches right out front for cool air drawn in by the new larger fan. Both the 2-barrel carburetor and the new quadrajet carburetor admit the right amount of gas and air to give the perfect mixture for maximum performance. To reduce vapor lock, the fuel pump is inverted and positioned away from hot engine surfaces. And fuel lines have been located as far as possible from heat sources, such as exhaust manifold and pipe. The B-12,000 engine breathes deeply through larger intake ports, and big exhaust ports instantly get rid of power-robbing gases to give Buick power with a punch. Machine-finished valve ports provide rapid intake and exhaust without vapor pockets that cut down power. Buick's exclusive vertical valve design makes the most effective use of valve-in-head principles with a minimum of moving parts. Add the large valve diameters and you have one of the big breathing reasons why the B12000 engine is the most spectacular performer in Buick's history. High, fast valve opening is provided by a new camshaft profile especially designed to power pack the B12000 engine. Spectacular performance is locked into the B12000 with self-adjusting hydraulic valve lifters that ensure consistently quiet, permanently accurate valve action under any driving conditions year after year. The valve lifters are fed by a new high-capacity oil pump that lubricates the engine with even greater efficiency. Buick center-firing spark plugs assure even fuel combustion. And the hotter, more perfectly timed spark from the redesigned coil and distributor make the B12000 the industry's most efficient power plant. With all the power of Buick's great B12000 engine, it's a surprise to many that no engine vibration is felt in the car. That's the way Buick engineers planned it, with the nodal point mounting system that scientifically places thick rubber mounts at the points of least engine vibration. New in 1958 is center of percussion engine mounting that uses 4 points of mounting instead of 3. Center of percussion mounting is available only with flight pitch Dynaflow. Harmonic balancing of the engine itself helps further to ensure smooth, comfortable performance. Buick engines are vibration tuned to vibration frequencies different from the natural vibration frequencies of other major engine parts for even greater smoothness. All Buick engines are micro-balanced after assembly, in addition to conventional balancing of each individual part to further ensure vibration-free performance. It all adds up to a power plant without peer, Buick's great B12000 engine.
2 outstanding transmissions for 1958, improved variable pitch Dynaflow and all-new flight pitch Dynaflow, transmit B12000 power to Buick's rear wheels with incomparable smoothness. Variable pitch Dynaflow has won widespread popular acceptance since its introduction. Yet driving it is a brand new experience to the majority of Buick prospects. In fact, 90%, that's 9 out of every 10 people who buy cars in this country, have never had the thrilling experience of driving Dynaflow. So what are you waiting for? People who have driven 55, 56, or even 1957 Buicks are in for a surprise at the new, instantly responsive power of the great new Dynaflows for 58. Variable pitch Dynaflow is unmatched by competitive drives, so to sell it, you should know it well. Basically, it consists of a converter pump, the first turbine, a fixed vane stator, the second turbine, and a variable pitch stator. The converter pump, driven by the engine, throws out a whirling flow of oil. The oil strikes the vanes of the first turbine, causing it to turn, just as a running stream turns a water wheel. This propelling force is multiplied and sent to the wheels, setting the car in motion. During initial acceleration, oil leaving the first turbine travels to a fixed vane stator that redirects it to the second turbine. Now both turbines are transmitting engine force to the wheels. As the first turbine increases in speed, the oil gradually changes direction, shifting from the front to the rear of the fixed vane stator, causing it to freewheel. By this time, the second turbine is taken over by itself, transmitting all the force from the engine to the wheels, and Dynaflow acts like a fluid coupling, transmitting power in a 1-to-1 ratio. The transition from one turbine to the other is so gradual that driver and passengers can't feel it. The variable pitch stator blades return the oil to the converter pump. When the variable pitch stator blades are at cruising pitch, the stator provides economical power at reduced engine speed. When the pitch is switched to high performance angle by flooring the accelerator, the blades provide an extra surge of power by increasing the oil return to the converter pump. These various stages of operation do not occur at any set speed. They automatically result from whatever speed and power are required from the car under any driving conditions. And that's why Dynaflow is so highly saleable. Dynaflow automatically, instantly, and smoothly adjusts itself to every driving demand. That's the Dynaflow principle. The big improvement in variable pitch Dynaflow for 58 is in the stator vane. Originally, it was designed with a starting angle of 4 degrees. Now it's been increased to an angle of 25 degrees. That means a bigger bite for power with punch right from a standing start. And when you switch the pitch by flooring the accelerator, you can show your prospects unrivaled automatic transmission passing power. Variable pitch Dynaflow for 1958 is a big jump ahead of competition.
Of course, the 58 Spotlight is on flight pitch Dynaflow, an entirely new transmission design that adds still more to B12000 engine performance. Two important design innovations put flight pitch way out in front. The replacement of the fixed vane stator with a third turbine to transmit engine power to wheels still more effectively, and replacement of the two-position stator with an infinitely variable pitch stator with vanes that can take any angle in their arc of movement automatically. Literally a million different positions. The slightest change in pressure on the accelerator automatically adjusts the pitch to exactly the best angle for any driving condition. When starting, the engine drives the converter pump, and the flow of oil sets the first turbine in motion. The engine force is transmitted through the oil progressively through the 3 turbines from one turbine to the next, multiplying the force directed to the wheels as car speed increases, each turbine operating most efficiently in its own speed power range. When the third turbine is turning, B12000 power is transmitted directly to the wheels with new efficiency and new economy. This new high efficiency of 3 turbines, combined with perfect control of the infinitely variable pitch stator, adds nimble new performance to Buick for 1958. Performance you can sell. For 1958, every Dynaflow unit will be built with a brand new front pump seal of leak-proof, wear-proof silicone rubber, and each unit will be subjected to a water test under high air pressure as a double check for oil tightness.
And you can sell the ease and safety of selecting the desired driving range of Dynaflow, too. The selector lever is in a natural location for easy use. You can keep your eyes on the road and your hand close to the steering wheel. The variable pitch Dynaflow selector panel has park, neutral, drive, low, and reverse positions, all placed in their most convenient relation to each other for daily driving. Flight pitch Dynaflow, standard on the Roadmaster and Limited series, has a new selector panel: park, reverse, neutral, drive, and G for grade. Because flight pitch Dynaflow is so highly efficient in every driving range, low is no longer necessary. In its place, Buick engineers have put a grade retarder, or transmission brake. When the selector lever is at G, a retarding force of oil is directed against the Dynaflow turbines for powerful braking down steep hills. The G position is a safety feature for braking only. You cannot accelerate in the G or grade position. You must return to drive to accelerate.
The one sure approach to selling either flight pitch or variable pitch Dynaflow is to make sure each prospect knows how Dynaflow performs now. The only way you can show your prospect how Dynaflow performs now is to give him a well-planned demonstration drive in a Dynaflow-equipped B58 Buick. Then when you have shown him how it works, when you have him at the point where he hankers to drive, let him drive. Let your prospect find out the instant response of B12000 power, how smoothly it surges through either Dynaflow without the distraction of upshift or downshift of other automatic transmissions.
That's the performance story for the new airborne B58 Buick. A twofold story that must be told. You have the most efficient power plant in the industry, the B12000 engine, with the lowest weight to horsepower in any American production car. You have 2 great transmissions to sell, real Buick exclusives that offer the smoothest surge of all the power the B12000 engine puts out. Together, they make the B58 Buick the one big car that's really light on its feet, easy to handle, a pleasure to drive. Give your prospect the chance to see for himself. Demonstrate Buick's peak of power performance to keep the prospect behind the wheel of a Buick. The airborne B-58 Buick offers more saleable features than ever before. Plus, many great extras to help you sell Buick. They add value to your customer's Buick and add pluses to your commission checks.
There's Buick's new aluminum brake drums that's a story of safety to sell your prospects. Heat is the big problem in bringing a fast-moving car to a stop. And as cars get bigger and heavier, heat problems increase. When a 4,000-pound car traveling 60 miles an hour is braked to a stop, enough heat energy is generated in the brakes to run a 21-inch TV set for 8 solid hours. A few panic stops at highway speed make the brake drums so hot they expand, and the stopping power of the brakes temporarily fades. Buick engineers have now broken the brake heat barrier 2 ways. First, by using aluminum to dissipate heat 6 times faster than the cast iron used in ordinary brakes. Second, by making the design of the drums different. Radial fins and a unique cooling rib expose more metal surface to the air, thus greatly speed up cooling to keep the brakes at consistently lower temperatures for greater safety. Inside the drum, high perlite cast gray iron liners, especially controlled in manufacturing to resist scoring, provide lifetime dependable braking surfaces. Then, to give Buick the greatest stopping power in its history, even the brake shoes and linings are improved. The brake lining is wider, giving 7.7% more braking area for faster, surer stops. And the linings are almost 50% thicker to give them longer braking life. These newer, larger linings, plus Buick's big 12-inch brake diameter and the high perlite liner and aluminum drum, result in braking power that will withstand more than twice as many panic stops and still be ready for more. Standard on Century, Super, Roadmaster 75, and Limited, Buick's new aluminum brake drums and safer, bigger-than-ever brakes are features you can sell. Big brake news on the Special, too. For 1958, the Series 40 brakes are bigger than ever, a full 2.5 inches wide, the same size as used on the 1957 Roadmaster.
When you're telling your prospect about Buick's new brakes, sell him on the Power Assist option. Power brakes, of course, use the vacuum from the intake manifold to help the driver put extra pressure on the regular hydraulic brake system for safer, surer stopping. Power brakes are more convenient, too. The pedal has to travel less, so it's closer to the floor. That makes it easier for the driver to pivot his toe from accelerator to brake. Far less tiring in city traffic. Since the Power Assist merely adds extra pedal force, the brakes operate as a conventional brake even if the power were to fail. Demonstrate Power brakes every time you give a demonstration drive. Make Power brakes another good reason why your prospect should make Buick their byword in '58.
Buick's safety power steering is another option that gives the driver a real assist, like another pair of hands on the wheel to do the work of driving. A pump, driven by the engine, provides a constant source of oil under pressure that's held in check by these valves. When the driver exerts only 2 3/4 pounds of pressure on the steering wheel, a valve opens, sending oil under pressure to the steering mechanism. The pressure of the oil takes over to turn the wheel for the driver. Buick safety power steering gives the driver full-time control of the car. When there's no pressure on the steering wheel, as in driving on a straight road, the Power Assist unit is at rest, so the driver has a true feel of the road. It's easier to handle the car. There's no fatigue from fighting the wheel. There's nothing new to learn with Buick's safety power steering. the feel of regular steering without any of the work. The wheels automatically return to straight ahead after turning a corner. A blowout or inadvertently driving off the road onto a soft shoulder merely requires a little finger pressure to keep the car safely under control. And parking is a breeze with Buick power steering. A special valve takes over to give an extra assist for parking. Even a child-sized bride can park effortlessly in the tightest space.
Perhaps the most dramatic plus for Buick of all the fine equipment options is Buick's four-season air conditioner. Buick's air conditioner for summer comfort floods the car with cool, dehumidified air, working with Buick's wintertime perimeter heating and ventilating system, which for 58 includes a radiant-type under-seat heating element. And for 1958, Buick's four-season air conditioner is better than ever, with improvements that mean cooler air than ever, quicker than ever. Starting at the very front of the car, the condenser has been enlarged by almost 10% to increase the air conditioner's efficiency and reduce the temperature of the air reaching the car's radiator. Then, in a full shroud behind the Dynastar grille that lets in much more air, there's the new larger constant speed fan that drives more air for cooler engine operating temperatures in low-speed city driving, yet reduces noise at higher speeds. The capacity of the compressor has been increased a full 33% for quicker cooling and more cooling, no matter how hot it is outside and regardless of the model you're driving. The center outlet grill has been restyled, and larger hoses have been added to increase the amount of cool air sent into the car. And the outer instrument panel outlets have been enlarged and restyled to admit more air for improved circulation in the car. The evaporator has been enlarged, too, to cool the increased volume of air handled by the system. And more insulation has been added to the blower duct to prevent loss of cooling before the cooled air reaches the car. The new portable unit has extra big capacity, too, a commission maker for you, since you can sell it to economy-minded prospects who will want to put their unit in their next car. So talk up Buick's improved air conditioning to beef up your commissions.
Here are two more popular power extras to add to driving pleasure and your paychecks. Buick's six-way power seat adds the ultimate in driver comfort. Up and down adjustment, forward and backward tilt adjustment, and the customary forward and back adjustment. It's a natural for the car which is driven by several members of a family. The controls are located in the door armrest in the Limited and Roadmaster 75, and on the seat side panel in the Super, Century, and Special. Buick's power window lifts add to driving comfort and convenience, too, by enabling the driver to control every window from his seat, from controls conveniently located on instrument panel, or each passenger to control his own window for just the right breeze to suit him.
When it comes to entertainment while driving, Buick for 58 offers 8 radio, antenna, and extra speaker combinations so that you can suit every prospect's taste and budget. Buick's new Wonder Bar radio is luxury radio in every sense, with great tonal fidelity. Here's a set that finds the stations for you at a touch of the Wonder Bar on the set or the foot-operated remote control switch located in the floor. The set can quickly be changed to any of 5 preset stations by pushing a button, and it can be tuned manually as well. The Sonomatic radio provides push-button tuning of 5 pre-selected stations and dial tuning. It also has beautiful tone. 2 antennas are available for either set. An electric-powered antenna for fingertip raising and lowering from inside the car, or the manual antenna that's raised or lowered by hand. And there's the optional speaker for the rear seat of closed models, for the special pleasure of backseat passengers to fill the whole car with concert hall realism.
Easy Eye Safety Plate Glass is another aid to driving comfort appreciated by every driver. The windshield with Easy Eye glass is darker at the top to reduce glare and eye fatigue, particularly on long drives. The Autronic Eye, available on Buick for the first time this year, is still another Buick extra for convenience and safety. This little unit automatically switches the headlights from high to low beam when meeting another car without thought or action by the driver. For wet weather driving, Buick's new wide-angle wiper blades are a real boon. A full inch longer, and with a wider sweep, they clear a larger area on the big panoramic windshield. For downpour driving, they can instantly be set to clear a narrower area almost twice as fast. And to go with them, the automatic windshield washer. Press the button and presto, a jet of solvent to help the wiper blades clean mud thrown up by passing vehicles or bugs that fly into the windshield. That's real driving safety. You can almost certainly sell Buick's safety group to every buyer. In this group, all included at one low price, are backup lights, glare-proof mirror, parking brake signal light, instrument panel safety pad lower, and the speedometer safety buzzer. Show them when you demonstrate. Sell them when your prospect's ready to sign. And there are extra pluses for Buick's popular estate wagons, too. This divided rear seat gives extra room. Either section or both can be lowered for more carrying space with passenger comfort. And this junior seat increases the passenger capacity, gives the children a seat with a view. Also for the estate wagons, this smart chrome luggage rack for large families, long trips, extra carrying capacity no matter what the reason.
Every Buick Extra can mean extra money for you because it makes your prospect's Buick mean more to him. Tell the safety story in Buick's new aluminum brake drums, larger, longer-wearing brakes. Sell your prospects on the safety and driving ease of Buick's power brakes. Show your prospects how Buick's safety power steering makes Buick easier to handle. And treat your prospects to the wonderful world of air conditioning for year-round driving comfort. Then go down the list of all the other great Buick Extras. Sell them with the car, installed at the factory for years of extra driving pleasure. Remember, pluses for Buick mean pluses for you.
In the case of Buick versus Mercury, the DOT court is back in session. Judge Joseph Carbier presiding.
On trial to be judged and compared for styling, performance, comfort, and quality. The 1958 Mercury versus the B-58 Buick. You are counsel for Buick. You must present your case to Judge Carbier thoroughly and effectively. For Mercury is out to penetrate your market in 1958. Your case is simple and conclusive. Smash Mercury's claims by presenting the facts. The facts on styling, craftsmanship, convenience, comfort, safety, and performance. Build your case on these points, for you've got the evidence, the facts to prove Buick's superiority. You have two exhibits to offer as evidence. Two Mercury series, almost identical. You begin your case with Exhibit A, the Mercury, alias the Medalist, alias the Custom. Most recent addition to the Ford family, and now Mercury's lowest priced car.
Basically, the Mercury is a stripped-down, warmed-over 57 model. A look at the specifications would make it appear that the Mercury compares favorably with the Special. But don't be misled. The dimensions tell only part of the story. The facts prove the real story. In terms of styling, the Mercury can best be described as looking stripped down. This becomes more obvious when you compare the Mercury and the Special side by side. The contrast is clear and sharp. Modern, sweeping lines of beauty for Buick. Angularity, accentuated angularity for Mercury. And Buick's beauty is even more obvious when you compare the quiet elegance of the Dynastar grille with Mercury's gaudy treatment.
So, put in evidence for Buick this customer benefit. Face of fashion styling that calls attention to the good taste of its owner. Styling that will be fresh-looking and desirable at trade-in time.
Less obvious features put Mercury far below Buick in craftsmanship. Consider finish. Here you are looking over the hoods of the two cars at the reflections of windows. Mercury's finish doesn't compare with Buick's. Note that the fuzzy reflection shows the orange peel effect, peculiar to the enamel used on the Mercury. Now, contrast this with a sharp reflection from Buick's smooth, lustrous lacquer finish. Long-lasting lacquer that keeps its gloss and its color long after enamel dulls. Lacquer is easier to maintain and can easily be color matched in case of repairs. Remember, too, that the durable new lucite finishes are available to Buick customers at a low price.
Put in evidence this Buick customer benefit: smooth, lustrous, long-lasting paints.
Little things, of course, very often become big problems. For example, loose wires are run over the inside of Mercury's deck lid. Compare this obvious shortcut with Buick's securely clipped wire-in conduit design.
So put in evidence greater reliability for Buick, less danger of disrupted operation due to shorts.
Now consider bodies. Note the inferior alignment of joints and moldings on the Mercury. A strong case can be built on the superior construction of Buick's Body by Fisher.
So put these customer benefits in evidence for Buick: superior quality construction and craftsmanship, offering beauty and longer life.
Mercury's doors offer further evidence of Buick's convenient superiority over the entire Mercury line. To secure the locks from the inside, Mercury owners must slide stiff-acting, arm-pinching levers. From the outside, they must be key-locked. Buick owners, of course, merely push an easy-acting button from the inside and can conveniently lock doors from the outside just by closing them with the latch depressed. Adjusting Mercury's vent windows is a distracting, sometimes knuckle-busting operation. Compare this with Buick's convenient crank operation.
Enter as evidence these Buick owner convenience features. The vent pane is easy to position. It stays in position, and when it's cranked closed, it can't be opened.
The inside story of the Mercury line presents a case for Buick conveniences based on irrefutable facts. Mercury has almost 1 inch less headroom than Buick. For many drivers, this is the inch that means discomfort, getting in and getting out of the car.
So put in evidence what headroom means to the Buick driver: convenience unmatched in the fine car field.
Even things like Mercury's overhanging glove compartment stand out as more evidence of Buick convenience superiority. Mercury's glove compartment is awkward to open and small and cramped when it is open. On the other hand, Buick's large, roomy glove box is within easy reach of the driver. It's large, and its door can be used as a snack tray. Mercury's one ashtray is hard for the driver to reach. Buick offers 2 convenient ashtrays, of course.
Enter as evidence thoughtful convenience features, extra attention to details that make Buick truly a luxury car.
Consider Mercury's heater, not in the same league with Buick's heating system. In Mercury, the heated air chills on its way to the back seat area, making a cold draft. In Buick, the exclusive underseat radiant heater rewarms the air for back seat passengers.
And enter this as evidence: maximum driving comfort, even on the coldest days, for back seat passengers as well as front seat passengers.
Mercury has a less comfortable ride, and again, the facts prove it. Its old-fashioned ladder-type frame with curved side rails can't compare with Buick's modern X-member frame for resistance to twisting and overall ruggedness and strength. The extra-cost Mercomatic transmission falls far short of Dynaflow performance. Any car buyer can immediately tell the difference between Mercury's jumpy Ford feel and the smooth response of Dynaflow. Dynaflow's smoothness, its effortless response, its confidence-inspiring feel are customer advantages only a demonstration ride can prove. Mercury uses Hotchkiss drive to transmit power to the wheels. That means the rear springs must absorb driving thrust as well as cushion ride. Buick uses torque tube drive to absorb the driving forces, leaving the springs free to cushion the ride. And in contrast to Mercury's buggy-type leaf springs in the rear, Buick uses coil springs with nothing to do but cushion the ride.
Here's evidence of Buick comfort. Buick's unrivaled Miracle Ride, a positive customer benefit only a demonstration ride can prove, and it will prove it.
Safety is another point you make in case for Buick. Severe windshield distortion, for example, is a constant source of eye strain and driver fatigue on the Mercury. Compare this with Buick's distortion-free windshield. Be sure also to make the point that there is safety plate glass in every window of every Buick. Mercury owners can't even buy safety plate glass in side windows.
So submit this concrete evidence: safe, distortion-free driving and restful sightseeing for Buick owners and passengers.
The Mercury instrument panel is an awesome clutter of bric-a-brac, in sharp contrast to the simplicity and convenience of Buick's instrument panel. And note that Mercury's panel has no instruments to indicate oil pressure and generator readings, just lights to inform the driver that something's gone wrong. Contrast this with Buick's constantly indicating gauges.
Put in evidence these benefits to the Buick owner: continuous positive knowledge of oil pressure and generator charge, knowledge that can pay off in recognition of signs of car trouble before damage is done, protection for the driver, protection for the car.
Note the design of the horn ring on the Mercury. Buick's full circle horn ring permits the driver to sound a warning instantly without looking at the wheel, no matter what its position. Mercury's headlight dimmer switch is positioned so the driver's foot can easily hit the parking brake by mistake. This is an annoyance that could cause trouble. The Mercury's brakes are only 11 inches in diameter, only 190 square inches in area. And Mercury's so-called self-adjusting brakes are not available on the stripped-down model for any price. The Specials brake story is tops, big 12-inch drums, 213 square inches of brake lining. Tests at the GM Proving Ground prove the Specials regular brakes outperform every competitor, stop quicker, and resist fade far longer. And for those who want the ultimate, Buick's outstanding new air-cooled aluminum drums are available on the Special at very low additional cost. The Sports Car Illustrated Award to Buick and the coveted NASCAR Award are national recognition that aluminum drums represent an engineering achievement that means unparalleled brake performance and reliability for Buick owners. Aluminum drums are an industry first, exclusive with Buick. Buick's big 15-inch wheels help keep Buick brakes cooler and contribute to longer tire life.
So put in evidence these outstanding safety features.
The high point of your case for Buick is the power story. The Mercury uses a 235 horsepower V8 engine that simply can't match the Special's lively 250 horsepower vertical valve V8. And the facts expose Mercury's nationally exaggerated performance claim based on more power per pound. Let's look into that claim. The Mercury has a curb weight of only 3,964 pounds and 235 horsepower. So, for each pound of car weight, Mercury has 0.059 horsepower. The Special weighs a healthy 4,304 pounds, and the Special's B12,000 engine develops 250 horsepower. So, for each pound of car weight, the Special has 0.058 horsepower. Thus, while Buick has 340 pounds more weight that contributes so much to Buick's better ride, Mercury bases its performance claim on only 1,000th of 1 horsepower per pound more than Buick. A canary could fly on the difference. Now, let's examine Mercury's claim still closer. Horsepower is available power. Torque is usable power, driving power, passing power. The Special's great engine develops 380 foot-pounds of torque at 2,400 RPM. That means that for each pound of car weight, the Special has 0.088 foot-pounds of usable power. The Mercury engine develops only 325 foot-pounds of torque, and at the significantly higher speed of 2,600 RPM. So the Mercury's usable power per pound of car weight is only 0.081. Thus, contrary to Mercury's claims, the fact is Buick actually develops more usable power per pound of car weight and at a lower speed. Buick's extra torque per pound of car weight developed at lower engine speeds means that Buick has extra passing power at passing speeds.
This is incontestable evidence any Buick prospect can appreciate. Performance where it counts.
So much for Mercury's claim of performance. Exhibit B gives evidence of an open and shut case against Mercury. The Monterey is typical of the rest of the Mercury line. Higher priced, but basically the same as the stripped-down model with a little added chrome. The Monterey is equipped with a bigger engine, 312 horsepower. But even this admittedly hot engine does not give Mercury Buick performance. And here are the facts that prove it. The axle ratio of the Monterey is 2.69 to 1. Buick engineers set the Special's axle ratio at the optimum, 3.23 to 1. Here's what this means. Mercury's engine turns 2.69 times to turn the rear wheels once. Buick's engine turns 3.23 times to turn the rear wheels once. Since a gasoline engine gets its power from turning, Mercury's reduced engine revolutions reduces Mercury's passing power, accelerating power, at normal, safe operating speeds. And there's still more to this story. In traffic and city driving, the Monterey's low rear axle ratio forces the transmission to shift constantly to compensate for the lack of torque of its slowly turning engine. This is especially objectionable in cars equipped with Mercomatic transmission. To compensate for poor performance in city traffic, Mercury offers its multi-drive Mercomatic transmission as an extra cost option. But to get the improved performance they have to pay for, Mercury owners actually have to go to the trouble of punching the high performance bar.
So enter as evidence the fact that at no extra cost, Buick's better engineered combination of axle ratio, engine performance, and transmission design puts peak performance in the usable range. And once again, a demonstration will prove it.
Mercury's push-button transmission control, in contrast with Buick's handy lever, is extremely inconvenient when rocking the car and when maneuvering into or out of parking places. And believe it or not, in the face of Buick's superiority, you can prove the Monterey actually costs more than the Special. That's right. Across the board, the Mercury Monterey costs more than the Special.
That concludes your case. The evidence clearly shows that the medalist is not in the same class with the Special, and that the other Mercuries merely cost more than the Special. There should be no question left in the mind of any car buyer who judges the differences between Mercury and Buick. The decision will be Buick for 1958. Superior to Mercury in styling, in craftsmanship, in engineering, in performance, in convenience, and in comfort. Just recently, with this mailing piece, Mercury presented its story to all 55 and 56 Buick owners. Mercury itself admits Buick is a fine automobile and that Buick owners are people of taste. Therefore, we owe it to our 55 and 56 owners. In fact, we owe it to all drivers to show them Buick so they can enjoy Buick for 58, the better buy by far.
the phrase miracle ride to describe the smooth highway comfort of the airborne B-58 Buick, you're right. In '58, Buick's always fine ride has been so improved, it truly is miraculous. You can sell Buick's ride. You can use it to get prospects to the showroom, to whet their appetite for a demonstration, to get their name on the dotted line, if you know the facts and how to present them. So let's see what's behind the miracle ride of the great new airborne '58 Buick. Buick's rugged frame is the foundation of Buick's ride. Its rigidity, its resistance to twists are definitely superior. The reason for Buick's superiority is the stiff and rugged steel-like twisting in all normal driving. And besides that, all members are double riveted and welded to the extra deep and extra heavy side rails. Competition doesn't even compare. Buick's side rails are widely separated, so the body can be nested between the rails for the lower than ever B-58 silhouette without loss of head or leg room. Buick's smart good looks are thus uniquely functional. A high-fashion car easy to enter and leave, and a roomy joy to ride in. And the nesting principle means a lower center of gravity. And that means easier handling, better roadability. All vital parts of Buick's miracle ride. Furthermore, Buick's great X-frame is the solid support for another Buick exclusive, torque tube drive, that also adds to the comfort of Buick's ride. Of course, you must know the reasons for the customer advantages of Buick's torque tube in order to sell torque tube.
The tremendous thrust developed by an engine is transmitted as a turning or twisting force along the propeller shaft through the differential to the rear axles. The twisting force turns the rear wheels and moves the car forward. And here is where a basic law of physics takes effect. This twisting force is accompanied by an equal counterforce, or reaction in the opposite direction. This means that the rear axle housing wants to turn backward. So the engineer's problem is to absorb this very powerful but unwanted force. Practically all competitive cars do it with leaf springs in the rear. The leaf springs are essentially short levers fastened to the rear axle housing, so it can't turn backward. This is the so-called Hotchkiss drive, and it has a number of basic drawbacks. Obviously, the basic function of a car's springs is to cushion the ride. If, in addition, the springs must also prevent axle twist, they have two jobs to do at once, so they can't do either best. Part-time springing can only mean part-time riding comfort. In the Hotchkiss drive, the springs must be stiff and heavy to absorb reaction forces, too stiff for comfort. Even when the springs are too stiff for full comfort, drive thrust still twists the back end on a fast takeoff. That forces the rear of the car down and causes a leapfrog start. And also, leaf springs transmit road noise and vibration through the frame to the passenger compartment.
Now consider Buick's torque tube drive. The torque tube is a hollow steel tube surrounding the propeller shaft, solidly coupled to transmission and rear axle. Along with the strut rods, it absorbs all the driving thrust, completely independent of the car's springs. That's because the torque tube is a lever tube. It's far longer than a leaf spring, and a longer lever arm takes less force, so it can do a far better job of absorbing thrust, as well as noise and vibration. So Buick springs can be full-time springs, because they have nothing to do but cushion the ride. Full-time springing means full-time comfort. Coil springs all around. Coil springs are the best there are for ride. That's not all. Buick's rear end geometry means greater stability, greater comfort on curves. And the reason is very simple. The forces that move a Hotchkiss drive car forward are divided and applied at the rear of the car. You can demonstrate this to your prospect by pushing a pad across a table like this. The pad will wobble as you push it along a curved path. But in Buick, the driving forces are concentrated at the forward end of the torque tube near the car's center of gravity. That means stability, comfort on curves. And you can prove that to your prospect by pushing the pad with one finger near the center of the pad like this. Let your prospect try it. Now when it comes to air ride, Buick's torque tube drive is all set for air suspension. Other cars will have to convert to some system of levers in order to use air suspension. Not Buick. Keep that in mind, because torque tube drive is a Buick perfected feature that Buick has been building and testing for years. Torque tube drive is time proved in millions of Buicks. So now let's see how this great new across-the-board option, air poise suspension, still further improves Buick's great ride.
Any steel automobile spring, coil, leaf, or torsion bar has this major drawback. It cannot change its degree of firmness once it has been set by the suspension engineer. If the engineer designs a firm spring, his automobile will have a good ride on bad roads and a bad ride on good roads. A soft spring, of course, bounces you around on the bumps and ruts of a bad road, but gives a good ride on good roads. So no matter what, the best steel spring is a compromise. Furthermore, a steel spring can't compensate for load. An empty car rides high, a loaded car rides low. If the load is unbalanced, or the car is taking a curve, the car also leans. The ideal is a suspension that can change its degree of firmness as road conditions change. A spring that will keep the car level and at the same height, regardless of the weight of the load and its distribution. And a spring that won't transmit noise and road shock. Sounds like a miracle.
Well, Buick has accomplished the miracle with the miraculous new air poise suspension that floats the car on 4 cushions of air. Buick's Miracle Ride with air poise suspension. The ride that provides 3 great sales advantages: variable rate springing, automatic leveling, and Operation Bootstrap.
Heart of the system is the compressor, belt driven by the engine, that keeps the storage tank full of compressed air at 100-pound pressure. The air is piped from the tank to the 4 air chambers that replace the 4 steel springs. The bottom end of a metal plunger or piston is attached to the axle. On its top end rests the diaphragm of the air chamber attached to the frame. When the wheel strikes a bump, the plunger moves up, forcing the diaphragm into the air chamber, where the compressed air in the chamber smothers the road shock. Consequently, Buick passengers literally ride on air. On smooth roads, the ride is soft, 40% softer than even Buick's all-coil springs. And when the road is rough and the wheels want to bounce, the shape of the plunger and the air chamber automatically increases the degree of firmness of the suspension. The rougher the road, the greater the degree of resistance to wheel bounce and therefore body bounce. The smoother the road, the less the resistance. So there's a constant cushion of air with just the right degree of resistance to wheel bounce at every instant. This constant cushion of air is responsible for variable rate springing, the first of the 3 big sales advantages of air poise suspension.
The second big feature of Buick's air poise suspension is automatic leveling. A system of leveling valves keeps the car at the same height, regardless of the number of people or load in it. When passengers enter or leave the car, additional air automatically enters or leaves the air chambers to return the car to its correct height. The system also corrects for unbalanced loads by adjusting each individual chamber as necessary to keep the car level from side to side, as well as from front to rear.
Operation Bootstrap is the 3rd big feature of Buick's air poise suspension. When the driver pulls this lever, another miracle happens. The system's normal control valves are locked out, and air is sent direct to all 4 air chambers. So the car frame rises nearly 5 inches, practically lifting itself by its bootstraps. And how handy that is for changing tires. or getting out of mud or sand.
Of course, the way to sell Buick's air-poised suspension is to demonstrate. Begin your demonstration by putting your weight on the rear bumper. Show your prospect how the car momentarily sinks, then returns to its proper level despite your weight. Then on the road, give the car a real workout. Prove how ruts, potholes, and bumps are smoothed out miraculously, and how turning, twisting roads are a breeze with the road-hugging, sure-footed, new airborne Buick. Remember to talk up safety power steering, too, since air suspension can be ordered only with a power steering option. Buick's great miracle ride comes from Buick's great engineering features. Know the facts about them. Buick's exclusive X-frame construction for greater strength, greater rigidity, and greater stability. Buick's exclusive torque tube drive that drives the car from its center of gravity for road-hugging stability and comfort in every driving situation. Buick's exclusive all-coil springs, whose sole job is to provide comfort on any kind of road. And Buick's air-poised suspension on the only chassis in the industry already best adapted for the supreme comfort of riding on air. Know these facts. Then present the facts convincingly on the showroom floor and demonstrate the results on the road to sell Buick's miracle ride and air-poised suspension.
Here they are, the little three with big car price tags. And here's the Buick you're selling at little car prices. Now that can mean extra sales for you, extra dollars for you. It's up to you to make those extra sales by giving every prospect the full story of the special, the full story of the special's big advantages. Big car appearance, big car comfort and convenience, big car performance and ride, and big car extras that are standard equipment, all at little three price levels.
Appearance is important because your prospect wants a car that will look as smart next year as it does today.
The styling of the 1958 Chevy will catch the eye of a lot of people. But Chevy prospects are your prospects, and at similar prices or even less, you have a lot more to offer. The 58 Ford is merely a slightly warmed over 57. All Ford has for 58 is a new grille and new taillights. Plymouth for 58 has even less, new trim and new prices. Suddenly, it's 1957. But Buick is dramatically new, dynamically different. Any way your prospect looks at it, Buick's got it. Consider grills, flimsy stamped sheet metal. Plymouth got rid of that dull metal lower grill, replaced it with a painted splash guard. Buick's new grill looks substantial, is substantial. Made in two parts, it's solid die-cast, chrome-plated and polished for lasting brilliance. The Dynastar grill is functional, too. All that black space is air space, and the full width opening means better air circulation for lower underhood temperatures. Consider headlight trim. No chrome on any of the little three. Ford headlight trim is just plain paint. The other's a dull-looking metal. And Plymouth buries its parking and turn lights so deep under the headlamp hood it's difficult to see. The B-58's bold headlamp design is distinctively different, distinctively Buick. From the graceful curve of the sweep spear around the headlamp hood to the gleam of the twin chrome headlight rims, Buick's smart elegance will appeal instantly to your prospects. So point it out. Buick's parking and turn light is away from the headlights, far out at the edge of the car so drivers approaching from the side can see it. Plymouth's bumper is thin and flimsy looking. Buick's bumper is massive, as strong as it looks, for solid protection to the grille and the car. The side trim shows how Ford and Plymouth both cut corners, thin, poorly fitted, and skimpy. Buick's long lowness is emphasized by the well-fitted, graceful sweep spear. This is styling you can sell.
That's the way they stack up on the outside. The big special and the little 3. Now, let's look inside.
You can tell at a glance that Ford materials and workmanship aren't up to Buick standards. Where Ford uses cloth, it's of noticeably poor quality, carelessly installed. Plymouth interiors are no better. Badly cut, poorly fitted upholstery, and wide use of plastics stamp Plymouth indelibly cheap. The headliner in Plymouth is made of pressed board, a hard material that echoes and amplifies already harsh road noises to an uncomfortable level. Buick's luxury comes from lavish use of durable, attractive fabrics set off with color-mated cordovine and handsome modern patterns. Everywhere your prospect looks, he'll see materials and craftsmanship far beyond the price tag. Now this is quality you can sell. Contrast the gaping, poor-fitted moldings in Ford with Buick's carefully made and fitted moldings, or this chrome windshield frame that doesn't match the curve of the Plymouth roof, with Buick's perfectly matched and carefully fitted molding. Now, after all, craftsmanship is vital to the appearance of the car, and Buick's traditional craftsmanship yields the look of luxury that will give your prospect pride of ownership every year he drives his Buick.
Now, comfort and convenience. Another of Buick's big car advantages you can sell over the little 3. Consider roominess.
This average-sized man is sitting in a 58 Ford. Now, Ford's 33-inch headroom just isn't enough for comfort. Plymouth brags about its 35-inch headroom, but it's a snare and a delusion. Plymouth gives the driver no more actual headroom than Ford because he sits up on a stiff, hard seat, his head always close to the roof. The Ford front seat is uncomfortably thin and stiff all the way across, too. The Plymouth seat is too thin and hard in the center for comfort, and it's so close to the floor it forces the driver to keep his legs almost horizontal, a tiring position. But the Special offers big car comfort, true passenger roominess. The Special's 35-inch headroom gives the driver ample space overhead. Then Buick's seat is deep, soft, and comfortable. Its full thickness permits full springing and padding. It's high enough for fatigue-free driving. Its softness actually stretches Buick's headroom. And because the Dynaflow transmission tunnel slopes almost to the floor before it reaches the seat, Buick's front seat is as thick, deep, soft, and comfortable in the center as it is at the sides.
Driver convenience is as important as comfort, and neither gets much consideration in Ford.
The Ford glove compartment is at the far right end of the dash, out of the driver's reach. And the compartment isn't full size. Space is lost because the Ford heating duct passes through the compartment. And Ford's under-dash heater has 3 stiff operating controls to be adjusted and readjusted to keep passengers from freezing or roasting. The Ford instrument cluster is visible only because Ford cuts 1/3 of a circle out of the horn ring. Awkward for the average driver. Ford uses lights instead of gauges for oil pressure and generator. Now, this system is fine if you want to know about trouble after it's happened. Ford uses tiny, hard-to-see turn indicator lights, widely separated. Ford's instruments and indicator lights seem to be placed for geometric pattern rather than driver convenience. Now, here's the driver's eye view of the Plymouth panel with the same kind of driver inconvenience. Plymouth puts its tiny glove compartment out of the driver's reach, too, and low where the door can bang the knees of passengers. Plymouth's one ashtray is an awkward reach for the driver. Plymouth's under-dash heater has these old-style defroster outlets forcing the driver to fit his driving position to the area they cleared. To make Plymouth's instruments visible, they had to cut the horn ring to half a circle, even more inconvenient than Ford. And here again, corners are cut with lights instead of real gauges. But Plymouth even goes a step further. By eliminating one turn light indicator, Plymouth leaves the driver in the dark if he makes a mistake. Plymouth's panel is typical of the Little Three's lack of quality, the lack of planning and consideration for driver and passenger. But Buick's instrument panel has the look of quality and the feel of convenience for driver and passenger. The centrally located glove compartment is easily reached by anyone in the front seat. The door opens perfectly level, providing a tray for refreshments, and it's extra large for the trip needs of an entire family. No awkward reaching, no spilling ashes. 2 ashtrays, convenient for driver and passengers, are standard on Buick. Buick's heater controls with safety rubber inserts are easily operated, readily accessible. They quickly adjust to flood the car with draftless, comfortable warmth through Buick's perimeter heating system. And for zero-weather foot comfort for backseat passengers, the exclusive underseat radiant heater is another standard feature on Buick. Buick's clear, uncomplicated instrument cluster is designed to be read at a glance. And the full horn ring doesn't interfere with vision and enables the driver to sound the horn no matter what the position of the wheel. And Buick's accurate, easy-to-read gauges warn the driver before it's too late. Even Buick's easy-to-see arrow-shaped turn indicators were designed with the driver in mind.
When it comes to performance and ride, none of the Little Three can compare to Buick's big car luxury. We'll give you that sales story after the operator turns the record.
Buick's peak of power performance starts right up front with the B12,000 engine. It's Buick's exclusive vertical valve V8 with center-firing spark plugs for unrivaled pep and long life. It's the industry's most efficient power plant, according to one of the nation's largest independent gasoline research laboratories. The B12,000 engine is advanced as far as the octane ratings of our nation's fuel will permit. This means top performance with maximum economy. It assures your prospect the power he needs when he needs it. The B12,000 power is transmitted to the wheels through 2 great Dynaflow transmissions, giving your prospect a choice. The improved variable pitch Dynaflow that lets the driver switch the pitch for the power to pass, and the all-new triple turbine flight pitch Dynaflow with the infinitely variable stator that adjusts the pitch instantly, automatically, for the right combination of power and economy for every driving situation. Flight pitch Dynaflow is so efficient, there is no need for low. So new, it has a built-in transmission brake to slow the car downgrades. Both great Dynaflow transmissions will help you sell Buick, because Dynaflow is the smoothest transmission in the industry. Dynaflow is the transmission that transmits a smooth surge of power to the wheels without the jarring upshifts and downshifts common to other automatic transmissions. The Dynaflow selector lever is naturally located, convenient for fingertip selection of the driving range, even with the driver's hands on the wheel. Dynaflow's selector lever has automatic stops in the most frequently used driving ranges. It's easier to use than any other type.
Besides adding convenience for the driver, Dynaflow's smooth transfer of power is an important point of driving comfort. So demonstrate it to your prospects.
And you can demonstrate the comfort of Buick's Miracle Ride. The Rotoflow torque tube is the basis for Buick's Boulevard smoothness. And it's still exclusive with Buick. Buick's torque tube takes up the thrust of the drive shaft, absorbs the twisting force of the axle. Buick's all-around coil springing is thus free to do just one job: smooth out the road. And for 1958, Buick has introduced Air Ride, true air suspension with passengers in car riding on 4 columns of air for variable rate springing comfort that adds new dimension to Buick's Miracle Ride. And of course, the Special's big car size adds a lot to riding comfort. The Special has a long wheelbase, as much as 4 inches longer than the Little 3, and that means comfort. Weight is important to ride, too. Gives a car stability, gives the driver confidence through security. And look how the Special leads, with big car weight for big car comfort.
Selling Buick's big car extras, standard on the Special, is the way to clinch your close. The Special offers so much more than the Little 3.
Buick uses safety plate glass all around the car, rear window, all side windows, as well as the windshield. The extra convenience of crank-operated vent windows for positive adjustment. The big trunk, well planned for maximum usable luggage space with no luggage-damaging spike, as in Plymouth. Wires are safely enclosed in conduits, and Buick's gas filler pipe goes under the floor of the trunk. Thick fiberglass soundproofing under the hood, and extra insulation and sound-deadening material throughout the car. Rain moldings that run back beyond the doors to make sure no water will drip in to stain treasured upholstery. And Buick gives the convenience of a foot-operated parking brake, set with tip-toe touch, released with fingertip pressure.
Buick means quality, driving comfort, and pleasure. Solid value. So much more in Buick for so little more.
Based on factory-suggested retail prices, Buick's 46R is only $175 more than Chevrolet. The Special is only $155 more than the Ford Fairlane. The Special is only $153 more than Plymouth Belvedere. Now, those figures really mean your prospect can own and drive Buick for only $58 more down payment than Chevrolet, $51.66 more down than on Ford, and only $51 more down than on Plymouth. The Special costs only $5.32 more a month than Chevrolet on a 24-month contract, only $4.77 more than Ford, and only $4.39 more than Plymouth. Use these figures. Make them sell for you. The difference is less than a pack of cigarettes a day. Here's another angle. The Little 3 are putting out high-priced models. Compare their prices. The Buick Special Convertible lists at $3,041. Chevrolet's Impala Convertible lists at $2,973.20, only $67 less than Buick. The Plymouth Fury, a hardtop, not a convertible, lists at $3,066.50. And Ford's Skyliner convertible sells for $3,172.69. And none of these cars has the big car quality, luxury, and prestige of Buick.
So go after Little 3 prospects. Show them and sell them Buick.
Sell them Buick's appearance, Buick's comfort and convenience, Buick's performance and ride, and Buick's big car extras standard on the Special. Then show them, dollar for dollar, Buick's their best buy. For so little extra, they get so much more real driving pleasure, so much extra value. Use all your sales ammunition to prove to your prospects, when better automobiles are built, Buick will build them. And they're building them now.